I'll start by giving you an overview of the way the meeting will be conducted. I'll start with the introduction of people up here. Lisa Normandin, who's our board secretary and administrative contact. Al Gravel. I'm Ray Beal, Don Bowen, Hans Winthrop, Paul Doherty, and Jim Besikarski, all members. I also want to make you aware that the meeting will be recorded and broadcast over the public access in accordance with the open meeting law. Following that, Lisa will read the application and any other submitted communications. The applicant will then have an opportunity to come forward to the podium to present any additional documents or comments upon the application, and the members will have the opportunity at that point to raise questions with the applicant on matters that he's presented. Following that, we'll have an opportunity for public comment and on the application, or pro and con. And in order to do that, whoever wishes to speak can come forward to the podium and speak to the mic. As I mentioned before, this meeting is being recorded. After the public comment period, we'll bring it back to the board for deliberation. With that, would you please, Lisa?
I won't be voting. I don't know if you need to say that.
The voting,
I'm
in this case, the voting members will be Al Gravel, Ray Beal, Hans Winthrop, Paul Doherty, and Jim Besikarski. Don is sitting out, will participate in the meeting, but will be not voting on the decision. Lisa?
Okay, this is a letter dated April 29th, 2015, to Mr. Ray E. Beal, Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The reference application for a special permit modification, 739-777 Chase Road, auto dealership, service garage, and vehicle storage, Lunenburg, Massachusetts. Dear Mr. Beal and members of the board, on behalf of the project applicant and property owner, Empire Management Corporation, we are submitting herewith an application and plans for a modification to special permits for 777 Chase Road, issued on April 27, 1987, 747, 753, and 757 Chase Road, issued on October 15, 2005, and for 739 Chase Road, issued on August 22, 2007, in accordance with Section 463 of the Protective Bylaw of the Town of Lunenburg, amended through May 3, 2014. The applicant is proposing to construct an 8-bay service garage between the two existing dealerships and pave an existing gravel vehicle storage lot located at 739 Chase Road to the south of the North End Mazda dealership. In support of this filing, we have enclosed the following for your review. Original special permit application, including Appendix A and 14 copies. 2 15 copies, 1 full-size and 14 reduced-size sets of plans prepared by Waterman Design Associates dated 4/21/15, including existing conditions plans and site plans. 3 architectural plans prepared by E.J. Rempelakis Associates, sheet A1, A2, and 3, dated 6/15/10. Certified list of abutters within 300 feet of the locust property. Letter from the building inspector. Previously issued special permits. And 1 check payable to the town of Lunenburg in the amount of $100 as payment for the filing fee for the special permit application. Existing conditions. The locust property is comprised of 4 lots identified on the Town of Lunenburg Assessor Map 14 as parcels 1 through 4. North End Mazda, located at 747 Chase Road, contains 1 existing building on a 3.7 more or less acre parcel with 285 feet of frontage. North End Subaru, located at 757 Chase Road, is on a 1.6 acre parcel with 2 existing buildings. The main dealership building with a smaller detached car detailing shed and has 144 feet of frontage along Chase Road. Approximately half of both lots are paved and the remainder of the land is wooded upland and areas of wetlands. Both lots are serviced by subsurface sewage disposal systems and on-site wells. A third parcel, 739 Chase Road, located farther south, adjacent to the Mazda dealership, contains approximately 3.9 acres. This property is identified on Assessors Map map 14 as parcel 1. This lot was originally developed with a residential building, bookstore, and parking area that were removed in 2008. This lot has approximately 253 feet of frontage along Chase Road and is currently being utilized to store vehicles. The fourth parcel, 777 Chase Road, is located to the north of the Subaru dealer and contains a single-family home. All 4 properties are under common ownership. The locust properties are bounded to the north by undeveloped land and single-family residences, to the east by Chase Road, and to the south and west by undeveloped properties. The site does not contain land within Zone A, area of the 100-year flood, as shown on the NFIP flood insurance rate maps for the town of Lunenburg, and indicates the community panel dated June 15th, 1982. No portion of the site contains areas of priority habitats of rare species or estimated habitats of rare wildlife and/or certified vernal pools according to the National Heritage Atlas, valid from October 1, 2008. There are 2 separate wetland resource areas located on the locust properties. The delineated wetland areas may be classified as wooded swamps and consist of winterberry, yellow birch, black birch, pine, oak, and witch hazel. The Board of Appeals granted a special permit allowing the use of 777 Chase Road and the 2 adjacent parcels as auto dealerships on May 19, 1987. In 2005, Empire Management purchased the automobile dealerships at 747 and 757 Chase Road. In the fall of 2005, they received a special permit and Class 1 license to continue to operate these dealerships. Empire Management Corporation also received a special permit to extend the vehicle storage area onto 739 Chase Road in August of 2007. An order of conditions was issued on December 12, 2008, for work associated with repaving the gravel vehicle storage area at 747-757 Chase Road, as well as associated drainage improvements at 739 Chase Road. An order of conditions was issued by the Lunenburg Conservation Commission on June 4, 2014, DEP number 208-1032, for the work associated with this proposal. The proposed development. In general, the work associated with the submission entails the construction of an 8-bay, 3,360 square foot service garage located between North End Subaru and North End Mazda. The service garage will be located within the limits of the recently paved vehicle storage area. Therefore, there will be no increase in stormwater runoff due to this construction. The garage doors will be located on the westerly side of the building and will not be visible from Chase Road. The vertical granite curbing will be added on 2 sides of the building with a concrete walk on the south and east side. The garage will be used to repair vehicles of existing customers, so it is not expected to generate any new traffic. All repair work will take place inside the building and no hazardous material will be stored on-site or within the building. In accordance with protective bylaw, 244 customers and employee parking spaces will be provided. Vehicles will continue to be displayed at the front of the property and vehicle inventory will be stored at the rear of the property behind the buildings. There will be 232 vehicle and display spaces in addition to the 244 customer and employee spaces for a total of 476 spaces on site. Sheet C2.01 shows the layout of the parking and vehicle storage and display areas. As part of the plan set, we have provided truck turning exhibits that illustrate the ability for fire apparatus to maneuver throughout the site. The applicant is also proposing to pave the existing gravel vehicle storage area located at 739 Chase Road. Some of these spaces will become customer parking, so site lighting will be added for their safety. All stormwater runoff from the parking areas will be conveyed via surface grading to 2 curb cuts and riprap velocity dissipation pads before entering proposed water quality detention basin. The on-site water quality and quantity measures have been developed in accordance with Mass DEP stormwater management standards and were reviewed and approved by the Conservation Commission and the town's peer review consultant, for which an order of conditions was issued. A 2,500-gallon holding tank is proposed to handle the runoff for the floor drains of the new service garage, and wastewater will flow by gravity to a new 4,000-gallon septic tank and existing pump chamber under the parking lot. It will then be pumped to the existing primary leaching area at the rear of the property. Water service, electricity, and gas service will also be provided to the garage as shown on the plans. This project is not expected to generate additional traffic, and therefore no impacts to traffic volume or flow on Chase Road are expected. The applicant will be required to file for a development plan approval with the planning board. At the conclusion of the permitting process, Assessors Map 14, parcels 1 through 3, and a portion of parcel 4 will be amalgamated through the approval not required process. The lot at 777 Chase Road will be reconfigured. In summary, the proposed project is not a substantial change in conditions and is not and does not derogate from the intent of the Town of Lunenburg Protective Bylaw. We thank you in advance for your attention to this request and look forward to meeting with the Zoning Board of Appeals to discuss the proposed project at the upcoming hearing. Conclusion. In summary, the proposed project is not a substantial detriment to the public good, does not derogate from the intent of the Town of Lunenburg Protective Bylaw, and is not a substantial change to existing conditions. It is anticipated that the proposal will not adversely affect the surrounding neighborhood and businesses along Route 13. We thank you in advance for your attention to this application for special permit modification for automobile use in the commercial district, and we look forward to presenting the plans to you at the upcoming public hearing. Very truly yours, Waterman Design Associates, James Almonte, RLA Project Manager. And the application is for a special permit modification, Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, Zoning Board of Appeals. The name and address of the applicant is Empire Management Corporation, 171 Great Road in Acton. The cover letter covered the reason they are here. The proposed action has begun. The basis for this application for special permit is found in the following section of the Lunenburg zoning bylaw, Section 463. The street address of the property, North End Mazda, North End Subaru, 739-777 Chase Road, Assessors Map 14, parcels 1 through 4. The name and address of legal holder of legal title to the land, which is the subject of this case, is Empire Management Corporation, 171 Great Road in Acton, recorded in Worcester Northern District Registry of Deeds, Book 5933, page 330-333, recorded November 15th, 2005, and Book 6193, page 301, date recorded 7/31/2006. If the undersigned has any knowledge of a prior appeal, application, or petition concerning the land or building involved in this case, describe the case and the dates involved. Special permit was granted April 27th, 1987 for 777 Chase Road, and a special permit was granted on August 22nd, 2007 for 739 Chase Road. Shall I read all the answers to the questions? The special permit, Section 12, as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. The following narrative is to support the applicant's request for modification to the special permit approval for the storage of vehicles at the above referenced address in support of the adjacent auto dealerships as required by the application for special permit question 12. 12A, will not be injurious or dangerous to the public health or unduly hazardous because of traffic congestion, danger of fire or explosion, or other reasons. The reply is the creation of the new vehicle storage spaces and service garage are not expected to result in any impacts to public health, traffic congestion, or danger of fire or explosion. The new vehicle spaces and service garage will be used to support the existing auto dealerships and will not likely result in any additional traffic generation or other impacts. 12B, will not have a material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the neighborhood. The reply, the majority of the land to the south, east, and west is zoned commercial and is currently undeveloped. This property is currently developed and operating with 2 auto dealerships. The proposed vehicle storage lot will be located immediately to the south of an existing dealership where vehicles are currently being stored, and the proposed service garage will be located between the 2 dealerships. Based on the existing development and the location of the proposed development, it is not expected that the proposal will have any material adverse effect on the value of land and buildings in the neighborhood or on the amenities of the area. 12C, will be operated with reasonable regard for order and sight lines if in open use.
May I
Should be
interject?
Yes, it should be sightliness, but
Right.
it says sightlines. The reply, once constructed, the additional vehicle storage area and service garage will be located in areas that are already utilized by the auto dealerships. Since these areas will be utilized to serve their customers, it is in the interest of the applicant to maintain the order and sightliness of the site to encourage retail sales of vehicles. All efforts will be made to maintain the site as neatly and orderly as possible. 12D, will not produce noise, vibration, smoke, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at the lot lines in amounts clearly detrimental to the normal use of adjacent property. The reply, the doors to the service garage will be located facing the rear of the site, and the site lighting will be dark sky compliant with full cutoff fixtures. Therefore, the proposed project will not result in any noise, vibrations, smoke, dust, odor, heat, or glare observable at lot lines that would be detrimental to the normal use of adjacent properties. And that is signed by Brian Lafferty on April 21st of Empire Management Corporation. There is a map that was submitted by the Lunenburg Board of Assessors with 4 lists of abutters, as there are 4 properties involved. There is a letter from the building inspector that I will quickly read to James Almonte, 7 Central Street, Providence, Rhode Island. Dear James, please be advised that the service garage and the vehicle storage area that you are considering at 739-777 Chase Road can only be permitted once a modification of the August 22nd, 2007 special permit for that address is granted by the Lunenburg Zoning Board of Appeals. Application for the Zoning Board of Appeals can be obtained in my office. If you have any questions in regards to this correspondence, please contact me at my office. Respectfully, Michael Savageau, Lunenburg Building Official. There is also a copy of a Board of Appeals decision from 1987. There is a copy of one from 1986, and the certificate of granting from 2005, and a certificate of granting a special permit from August 22nd, 2007, attached. I also today received a memo from the Lunenburg Board of Health from James Gariffi regarding 739, 747, 757, and 777 Chase Road. This office has reviewed the plans that are attached to the petition for the above-mentioned address. The Board of Health will have the following concerns. 1, the garage will represent an increase in sewage flow to the sewage disposal system. Adding increased flow to a system will be viewed as new construction, and the site must be serviced by a sewage disposal system in full compliance with Title V and the Lunenburg Board of Health regulation. 2, the Department of Environmental Protection classifies wells serving more than 25 people for more than 60 days as a public water supply. A review of the occupancy of the site will be needed to determine if an approved public water supply is needed prior to the Board of Health endorsing a building permit. And 3, the sewage disposal system for 777 Chase Road must be shown to comply with Title V as it relates to the division of property. And that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, would the applicant like to make some additional comments or have anything else to present, please?
Good evening. My name is Jim Almonte from Waterman Design Associates, registered landscape architect and project manager on the project. And I'm not going to go and add any additional information. I think that was pretty thorough.
Yeah.
But if you would like, I just kind of orientate everyone to the plan just to let everyone know where the proposal is taking place. So this is Chase Road here at the bottom of the page. The existing Mazda dealership located at 747 Chase Road is located here. The Subaru dealership at 757 is located here. There's an existing shed, and then the home at 777 Chase Road is located
Well,
here.
would you use the mic, please?
Yep.
You can unclip it.
You can pick that up and,
Oh, okay. So as part of the proposal, we're proposing an 8-bay service garage located in between the Mazda dealership and the Subaru dealership. It's about 3,300 square feet. And as I mentioned in the application, the garage doors are located on the back side of the building, so they won't be visible from Chase Road. And as part of this application as well, this is the existing gravel storage lot located at 739 Chase Road. We're proposing to pave that area as part of this proposal. This was already reviewed and approved by the Conservation Commission in the spring of 2014, as well as some of the drainage improvements to handle the additional pavement here. As mentioned in the application as well, we're proposing, since some of these spaces will be customer parking spaces, there'll be some additional site lighting across the front of the site, and within the parking area. All will be dark sky compliant with full cutoff fixtures, so there will not be any light spillage beyond the property line. I think pretty much everything else was covered in the reading, so
Okay, would
That's it
the
at this
members
point.
like to ask questions of the applicant regarding the application?
Yeah, I got a quick comment. Did you hear the Board of Health's concerns?
yes, yeah, and we'll work with the Board of Health to address those concerns. We're already in the process of working to get the public water supply well approved with DEP, so that's already in the process. We'll work with them on the wastewater requirements as well. And we understand that the third comment with the Title V for the home at 777 needs to be approved before the property lines are amalgamated and cut off. So we're aware of all of that, and we'll
Okay.
work with them.
Good.
Where the garage is going, it looks like it's taking up about 60 parking spaces or somewhere in that amount. Is that correct? And I know some of them will be moved to the new pavement area, and the rest of them are where?
It won't be quite as many as 60 parking spaces. I'm not sure exactly how many will be taken up, but we're designated customer and employee parking spaces throughout the site. And as part of the application, the requirements of the protective bylaw, we're required to have, I forget what it was, 243 spaces for customers and employees. We have that, and we've designated those on the site plan, which is part of the application. The rest of the vehicles will be vehicle storage and vehicle display for the site. So based on all the square footage of all the buildings on the property now, we have, according to the bylaw, enough parking spaces for customer and employees.
Okay, thank you.
I have some questions, Mr. Chairman. Do you want me to ask them now?
Sure.
So I read your application. I had a few questions. It says that the work has already been, the proposed action has already been begun. What can you, on item number 4 of our application?
Right.
Tell me what that is?
Well, as part of, this is an amendment to the special permit.
Yep.
So the work that's already begun is the automobile use in the commercial district.
Okay.
So that's what that's
So
referring to.
that's just
It's just the
referring to
use.
fact that- Okay, so
Right.
it's ongoing and that it's
Correct.
already used.
Yep.
So a couple of the other questions that I had was, how necessary is it that you guys have that paving of the unpaved parking lot now on Chase Road? I'm very familiar with the area. In fact, the applicant, well, I think there was an abutter last time that you came before for that particular piece of parcel, was concerned about lighting and, turning around with the trucks and so forth, unloading early in the morning. Because
Right.
right now you can't see it, but when the leaves are gone and you come at, Chase Road at 11 o'clock at night, there's a lot of light and it's coming from that property.
Right.
How are you going to, offset the lighting issues on that new pavement area?
Oh, well, I'm not sure what lighting is out there now.
Yeah.
But the new lighting that we're proposing are basically 3 fixtures across the front. And they'll be LED fixtures. They'll be full cutoff, so you won't see the lens below
So
the lights.
not what you have existing up there now.
Again, I'm not 100% sure what's out there now.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty dated. It's been out there for a while, so.
No, I understand. But that's necessary, that's a necessary part of the overall plan of the expansion?
That's, that area there was,
Would you please stand and speak to the mic?
That area there was added to the special permit a few years ago when we
Right.
bought the old bookstore. And the paving of it is actually an environmental issue, because right now it's essentially raw soils and gravel, and there's a wetland behind there.
Yep.
By paving it, we can better control the water flow and the drainage. So from a conservation perspective, and a general environmental perspective, that's really the sort of the main reason that we're currently using it for display.
Right, and you
So
have
none of
that in your
that
special
changes.
permit, right.
Yeah, we're just trying to be, while we're doing this particular renovation job, we just want to, clear up any odds and ends we have around that, would conceivably concern the Conservation Commission or the Board of Health. Jim brought up, or the Board of Health brought up, the public water supply well. We've been working on that for a year, and we've done all the testing, and we're just in for the final permit on the,
So you're saying that it's better off to be paved than not paved?
yes, because we can control the water and we're not getting erosion into the wetland. Right now, if you get storms and, you know, the kind of winter we had, probably nobody
I
forgot
understand.
that one yet.
Because that's a
And-
concern, that's a concern of mine. I think it would just be the opposite, but obviously, based on the wetlands issue.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
prevents the erosion because you're better able to control the water when you have a
And
solid
and
surface.
are you is a detention basin in there now, or are you putting that in there as part of the? as part of
I believe, no, that's a Jim question. I believe they're already in.
it? They are already in?
When we did the original, when our last project up there, construction project, was the repaving of almost the entire site, and we did that with the anticipation that at some point we were going to be adding that garage. And so this area where the additional garage is going was never paved.
Yep.
And the infrastructure was put in the ground, was all there, ready to go.
Yep.
Because we knew this was going to be coming.
Yeah, just a clarification on the drainage improvements. When we got the approval from Conservation, I think it was like in 2007, for the paving of this area, we did do some drainage improvements to handle that. As part of this pavement, that hasn't been put in place yet, but it will be as part of this approval, and that was, again, approved by Conservation. So there'll be some dissipation, velocity dissipation swales, and this is shown in the darker green here, is the water quality detention basin associated with that part of the project.
Is that
And that's-
already in place, or is that to be
It's
added?
not in place. It's currently not in place, but as part of this proposal, it would be.
Yeah.
And that's between the parking and the wetlands located here.
Right, yeah.
So that was.
Do I remember seeing another, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do I remember seeing another detention basin
Yeah.
back there too? Yeah.
This is currently in place, and that was part of paving the rear portion of the site back in 2007. And there's another one back here as well.
Now, is that new because of the additional paving?
Yeah, that was part of the 2007 approval, that
Okay.
improvements.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring up that gravel, and I think obviously I'm satisfied with the fact that, you know, it's gonna improve the site versus, you know, just pave, what I didn't want is just paving it over, just for the sake of paving it over and throwing some more cars up there. I mean, you already have X amount of cars, you have a lot of frontage on there. But I mean, if it's gonna, you know, help the wetlands, and you guys are on top of it, that's fine. Mr. Chairman, the other thing that I had was from that special permit back in, if that's gonna be amended, back in 2007, it said that, you know, you couldn't have more than 300 vehicles stored on site. That may have to be amended because they're proposing, I think, 474. So, I don't know how that, if it's an amendment to this permit, then that's something you have to look at.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and I think, I don't have that currently in front of me, but I seem to recall that there was,
it was one
needed
of
to
the
be a...
conditions.
Right, I remember that. Did it need to be approved by the fire chief? Right, yeah,
So,
so,
Until approved.
yeah. And then the only other thing that I had, and I don't know whether, you know, you're the expert on this, but on the, on your application, you talked about, the flood insurance, the map from 1982, and the, rare species wildlife vernal pools.
Right.
Atlas, dated 2008. Have those been updated?
they, as far as I know, they have not. I believe we
All right.
checked those
Okay.
as part of this application, and we're kind of surprised ourselves that they haven't.
Yeah, I was looking back, I mean, things have changed probably
Yeah.
since 1982, but, okay, Mr. Chairman, that's all I had for now. Thank you.
Okay. Paul, Jim?
Have you run this by the fire department to make sure the building has, or sufficient access for the trucks that they presently have?
We haven't currently done that. We've met with the building commissioner and other town officials, and we understand after we're finished amending the special permit, we have to go through the development plan approval process with the planning board, and at that point, we anticipate having that discussion with the fire chief. It was recommended by the building commissioner that we start here to amend the special permit first, and then take care of that and move on to the planning board and the other various
I
departments.
have one comment to Lisa. Lisa, when we take this in, do we go to the fire department and the police department, right? It's a matter of form.
They were notified of it.
They were notified.
Yeah.
Yep, and then
They
when
have not
if they
rec-
applied for a building permit, it requires their sign-off before we issue a building permit.
But we did invite them, but there's no comment here, so the comment has to come to the building department or some other means. Is that right?
I haven't gotten any comments from either.
Yeah. I just raising the issue, okay.
Well, it's a good point, and I think that you understand that if this board sees fit to modify that permit as you've requested,
Right.
then it's going to be subject to the approval of all other
Right.
appropriate boards within
Right.
town and state and federal.
Correct. Yep.
So,
I understand that.
I'm sure that you anticipate that as part of the site plan review.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yep.
Just another question. On the garage, there's 8 bays. Is it 4 and 4 for each dealership? Is that, or are you current, I know there's bays in the back of the Mazda, there's, I think, 4. Are they still gonna be used, or is it, everything gonna be shifted to that new garage?
There's no specific assignment, they're sort of generic, we just need additional bays. As everybody, I assume most of you folks been around Lunenburg for a long time, and the Subaru dealership has kind of been piecemeal together, and it's not the most efficient layout, and we don't have enough space to really handle the amount of service that we require. Primarily, the 8 bays will be used for Subaru, but it's going to be generic. It's just an available service space at this point.
Jim, did you have something else?
No, that was,
Paul?
I'm good, thank you.
Maybe you can shed a little light for me on the zoning. One of the things that I noted in, I think Lisa forwarded this zoning map to the members, and one of the things I noted was that it appears that the commercial zone cuts Lot 4 nearly in half. And I'm just wondering, you had mentioned that it showed on the plan that there is a new line there to, going into that Lot 4, right? Now where is I'm uncertain as to where the line is for the commercial and the outlying district.
My understanding, and it runs down the middle of Chase Road, commercial on this side, outlying on this side. I'm not aware of where it runs through Lot 4, so can I take a peek at that, if you don't mind?
This is public information.
Thank you.
I sent that out to everybody. Did everybody get that?
I forwarded it.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check, but I'm thinking it runs somewhere down this line here. I don't know. I'll have to get that information on the plan. We'll address that.
Well, that may be a question that comes up in the site plan review. It was unclear to me. This, it's public information,
Right.
but the plans that you referred to in the drawing, I pulled off of the Registry of Deeds.
Right.
And it almost indicates on there, on this plan, book 350, page 11, as though that commercial outlying zoning line is right along the line of Lot 4, what's referred to as Lot 3 on this plan.
Right.
So I'm unclear as to where that is.
Okay. And honestly, I am as well, so I'll have to get clarification on that.
I don't know as it makes any particular
Right.
difference into what our conclusions about modifying this permit is, but it may be something that you need to address with the planning board.
Right.
it looks, depending on what you look at, which one of these you look at, where it could be partly in the outlying district.
Right.
You leaving that issue to the planning board? Is that what your thought was? I didn't quite understand.
I anticipate that that will be a part of that planning board site plan
Yeah.
review.
So,
Well-
so
anticipating.
would that be potentially a condition that you would frame as, in terms of what we would do, so that when it went to the planning board, then it would be raised to the level, it wouldn't be ignored?
No, I raise it so that he can anticipate that may well be a question when they do the site plan review.
Right.
It's not pertinent to our decision on modifying this permit.
Yeah. Unless, and the only thing I said is, would you flag it to bring it to the attention of the planning board? That's all. That's the only comment I had.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Just a comment.
As part of our submission to the planning board for the development plan approval, we'll update our plans to show where that line actually falls.
Yes.
I can't look at this and eyeball and figure out where it falls.
I couldn't
though.
either.
So,
I understand.
We'll address that comment, though.
And I think on your plan, it showed the proposed property line,
Right.
so that essentially you're cutting off that piece of the lot with the house on it.
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So it would appear, making that observation, that the commercial, the line between the commercial and outlying districts would be not a part of the lot that you would retain.
Potentially, it could
Anyway.
be, right. Potentially, not knowing where the line is, I can't say for sure,
Yeah.
but
Conservation Commission. I was a little puzzled by your letter I totaled up the acreage. And you came up to a total of 9.2 acres.
that's, yeah.
The assessor's records, and this may be because you're cutting off some of this land for the house, but the assessor's records that were referred to on here, parcels 1, 2, 3, and 4, totaled 15.62 acres.
Okay. Where you refer, the 9.2 is in the
Added
letter?
up what you had in the existing conditions, what I saw there.
And, yeah, and that may not have included everything. Are you referring to the letter or to the plans?
Your letter dated
Yep.
April 29th, existing conditions. You refer to the one existing building on 3.7 acres, and then there's a 1.6 acre, and then a 3.9 acre that's on the next page, third parcel.
Yeah, we may not have been including all of the parcels in that. If you look at the zoning summary table on sheet 201, and this is showing the numbers after a portion of that residential lot is cut off. We're at about 12 and a half acres. So we're closer to that 15 number.
Okay, so
And
that's where the difficulty is because
Yeah.
we don't know how much of that acreage is cut off with this proposed property line.
Yeah, it's a little over an acre or so.
So there's 1
again-
acre plus or minus.
Yeah. So I know the property was field surveyed, so there may be a little bit of a discrepancy between the assessor's maps and the property lines that were located.
Terribly unusual. Okay. So I guess we're down to a question of which of the conditions that were in that permit we last granted are still applicable to this. Where you were headed, Hans?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think that condition number 2 might have to be changed. That's no more than 300 vehicles. So I don't know what that number would be. Is that the proposed 476 that they're looking for? Seems like an awful number, a lot of car spots.
Well, that's the number of spaces,
Right.
but that includes customer and employee parking too, right?
And that's obviously contingent on the Lunenburg Fire Department signing off on it too, right? 2? Number 2?
I'm sorry, Hans?
Condition number 2 talks about the number of vehicles. I mean, I don't,
Until Lunenburg Fire Department approves the parking layout. So
yep.
that's isn't that correctly worded? They would have to approve that layout that they're proposing.
That's fine.
Make
Yeah.
that a condition, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to say more than 476 because they're looking at it. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Let's go down through those conditions. The third one, number 1 is still valid.
Yep.
3,
Yes.
4,
You guys are still you're not unloading on Chase Road, are you? You are unloading off on site?
The vehicles that carry pull on site.
They go on site, okay.
no parts, materials, or tools should be displayed or stored outdoors. No junk shall be stored or maintained outdoors. Junk meaning any workout, cast-off, discarded articles of material that are ready for destruction or which have been collected are stored for salvage, conversion to some use. Business hours remain the same. It's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 12 to 4.
Do they remain?
Number 7.
Okay. That remains. Number 8, petitioners shall conduct business at all times in manner so as not to be offensive to the residential abutters. 9, the granting of the special authorization shall inure to the benefit of the applicant, shall cease in the event the business is sold or sublet to another party. 10, the permit should be subject to a periodic review of this by this board and the zoning enforcement officer. If the restrictions noted as part of this granting of this permit are not adhered to, or if operated in any way offensive or detrimental to the neighborhood, this board would ask the enforcement officer to begin the procedure to rescind the permit. Number 11, the petitioner shall abide by all requirements of the Department of Public Works of the Town of Lunenburg and the Department of Public Works of the State of Massachusetts with respect to ingress and egress at the property. The petitioners, number 12, the petitioners must comply with the Town of Lunenburg zoning bylaws regarding signage. 13, any additional lighting shall not be offensive to the abutting properties. And 14, no spray painting to be done on this site. 15, minor car repair will be permitted inside the garage area only. 16, detail work may be done out of doors. Are those all still appropriate?
I think we're in line.
So just a question. I know there was a special permit issued for 747, 753, and 757 Chase Road on October 12, 2005 with those conditions, and then special permit issued for 739 Chase Road on August 22nd of 2007 with pretty much the same conditions. I think they're exactly the same. So I guess they both
I
have to be-
focused on the latest one.
Right,
Which was
so-
2007, yeah.
Right, but that one, I guess technically is only for 739 Chase Road. So we would be looking to amend both special permits. One for 7,
If I could, 739 was essentially added into the previous special permit.
Yeah.
That was just for the gravel portion of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we would add these conditions to the permit we're currently giving.
right,
Yeah.
right, which would include all the
Which would
all the
include
parcels.
Everything.
Right.
And they're the same.
Okay. We ready for a vote?
No.
Yeah, public
Oh,
discussion.
I'm sorry about that, yes. Do we have members of the public here? Are you here for the next? No.
Anyone like
This gentleman, would you like to speak in favor or against? Please come forward. State your name and address, please.
My name is John Herrick, 99 Boucher Road. My land abuts with Gene Hackler and Bill, God. Anyway,
Eichler?
Bill Dolliver is the other one. It's like we all meet right at the one point there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fire road. When I was down there checking it, my land is flat, then it goes down into like a gully and back up. And what I'm talking about is a brook going through, which I assume is a wetland. And towards Chase Road, there's a culvert and another one that goes underneath the road.
Where is your
Now,
land?
if you look at, from my side to the southern bank, it's nice and manicured, it's got the plastic and the straw and everything looks good. You go 20 yards below that, you've got oil, a couple of big pools of it that isn't going anywhere. And up the banking is all tires and barrels, and there's a big 55-gallon barrel, and there's numerous oils and stuff and everything there, and it goes right up to my property line, right at the stone wall. Some of the stuff is on the other side, on my property.
Let me interrupt for a minute to help us out, to find out where your land is. What lot are you on?
My what?
What lot are you? Where are you? What address?
I'm sorry, I got my
Where
hearing aid.
is
What address?
I can have everything, I have bad hearing too. Where is your lot?
What?
Excuse me?
Where is your lot on the map?
Oh, God. I can't figure this thing out. I got my map there.
No.
I used to be able to come in and go, this first building and go to the right. And then the road, we said, we want to see this?
I think you could just show us so we could get an idea on our maps. If you could,
Well, I'm figuring it's wetlands and there's, hazardous waste there. I think it should be cleaned up before you put 8 more days.
What is your address?
Oh, I said 99 Boucher Road.
And it must be one of the abutters, is it not?
has to be. Yeah, okay.
Map
Right here.
99, map 9, parcel 10.
Yeah, so parcel 009, 0010. Should be parcel 10.
Right here.
Correct.
Yeah. So he's not one of the abutters here, then?
You say your property directly abuts that property?
Yes. No, we meet in a corner, but I assume the Tom Caravella land is owned by Gene now. I got an old map here. You know, it's just names that have probably changed.
Maybe.
On this zoning map, you'd be out this
It
long.
would be out there.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't affect.
It's almost like 4 pieces of property come together in that one spot.
Right there, parcel 10, is
It's near this property that's
he was
in
the one who had
question.
the skinny driveway that we gave him the special permit to build on that lot.
This one right here?
Yeah, I think that, right? Because remember, here's the skinny driveway.
The number 52 or
Yeah,
5-2?
and I think he's talking about this over here. Because these are lot numbers and not
It's in this,
post office.
or in this one.
You might,
Remember, he had the skinny driveway. He didn't have enough frontage for him to access this. He came before us, and we gave him the skinny driveway to get into his land.
Boucher Road.
Right here. That's Boucher. And then it becomes asphalt.
So we're
that's-
looking up here,
Yeah, right here. Here's where they are. Here's where he is, buttoned up, I think, to the back of them here.
right in here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is his property.
I believe that's what he's saying, right?
Parcel 9, 10. But he's off Boucher. So this is Boucher.
Maybe it's corn, maybe he's
So
talking
it's
about.
probably right. But this is.
He didn't have the frontage on Boucher Road, so we let him have the skinny driveway right here to get into his land. And we only had 50 feet here, and we gave him a special permit. Because he didn't have frontage to get into that lot. This is Boucher here. Okay. Right. So if this is him, this is the corner he's talking about. Which is way
Oh.
Lisa put them on the abutters list, right?
The assessors prepare the abutters list and I notify everybody. But there's 4 pieces of property. So each property has different abutters.
Right.
obviously.
Right.
So he's saying it's this one.
Which could be the corner.
That corner is what he's saying abuts
Yeah.
to the car lot.
Which is corresponding with
Okay, thank you.
this one right here, right?
This is,
Yeah.
this is,
Right.
so he's 77 Chase, 777 Chase Road.
Because these are all lot numbers, these aren't street numbers.
What's the,
No.
What's the non-street number?
What?
Wetlands, what is this problem?
This one,
Where's the, you got the big map there. So here's, that top corner, I think is where the corner that he's speaking of, right?
Yeah. I think it is, yep.
And what is his issue?
is that what you were saying?
I'm gonna point to it, so you tell me if I'm
Yes.
right.
I'll tell you if you agree with what I'm thinking. And
What is his issue?
Right, I think he must own 10. And
What's his effort?
Oh, I thought it was that top one, Al.
granted a special permit because he
No,
didn't have
way
the
up.
frontage to get to the
Yeah.
21E problems.
Probably.
Is what he's saying.
So he's a,
Yeah, now you can
And did he
make a
buy this?
condition based on
Because this-
what he's saying. Is the condition to raise the issue of 21E. That's what he's doing.
Right.
In other words, if they don't have a 21E, if they have a 21E issue, they got a problem.
Excuse me.
It is top corner right here, and then where he's talking about is
And do we know who owns that land?
down here.
Does the applicant own that land, do we know?
Yes. This is part of the property, correct? Correct. Boundary line that we, so he's out here on this corner.
That's, I believe, the common corner. That one, that's the only.
That's the corner.
Well, the bank that they manicured, they put up protection to keep wastewater out of,
Listen,
it's already
Don.
polluted.
I'm sorry. Would you repeat that, please?
Can you repeat that, please?
Repeat that, speak into the mic so we can hear.
I say, well, where they manicured the one bank and they've got protection along it, so obviously whatever they're doing won't run into the brook. But on the other side, they've already got wastewater and waste already in there. It's, you can see it. If a representative or something comes out, I'll meet them and, on my property and show you. It's bigger than you think. It's vast. It's not just a few oil cans or something on the side. It's a lot of hazardous.
Is there anything out there besides wetlands? Is there anything that you're proposing that affects that upper corner out there?
The only thing that back here of land is the public water supply. And the entire parcel has been inspected by DEP on 2 occasions, local conservation commission on 3 occasions, and our environmental consultants on 4 occasions. And we've spent over $300,000 in various environmental assessments of the property. And I can assure you that according to our consultants, the Lunenburg Board of Health, the Lunenburg Conservation Commission, and DEP for the public water supply well, there are no environmental issues on our property.
Well, the only way I can answer that is, if you come out there, I'll show you where they took topsoil off my land to cover this down. It's the stuff, hazardous waste. But over the winter, the loom just went right through it, and now all that stuff is back up on top again. It was hidden, and now it's back up. And all I can say is, if you come out and look, you'll see for yourself that it's...
That's really in the domain of the Conservation Commission.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, that's why I'm here.
And they've already gone through that with the Conservation Commission. We don't see any report from them, but I don't think that's included, is it? I missed it, if it is. But certainly, anything that we would approve at this board would be subject to approval for the other boards, including the Conservation Commission.
Well, then you're not going to do anything, right?
Well, it's not within our purview to do anything, because that's a Conservation Commission issue.
Sorry, I wasted your time.
When you say that you've already been to conservation, weren't they addressing just that new area where you're gonna pave?
Thank you.
Now, they've been through the entire site for a number of different occasions. For example, when we did the paving...
Would you please get up?
When we did the paving, there was concerns we have on this side of the property, and Jim can probably identify it better than I, but we have bank, I'm familiar with the term of a bank there's a stream over here, so we have bank and stream to consider. So they've walked the entire site, and then DEP, for our public water supply siting process, they came out and walked the entire site. And I don't know if Jim has the plan that shows the public water supply wells, but I'll show you what DEP inspected for the public water supply well. This is the radius well water, what do you call it, interim wellhead protection zone, Jim? The wellhead protection zone that extends all the way around here. DEP inspected every square foot of that with our water supply consultant. And they don't have any problems out there, so.
So you've never seen what he's talking about? You've never seen any tires or anything back there?
I'd be lying if I said I never saw a tire back there. But to tell you the truth, I don't think it was on our property. I think it was farther in the woods. There's sort of a cart path right here that you can see that goes out there.
That's kind of what he was referring to as he comes down that path. There's a brook out there.
Yeah, the brook kind of meanders through, and we've discussed this with Conservation Board of Health and the Planning Board, and I thought with the ZBA at one time or another, because there was a cart path road out here, and we had people accessing the land using ATVs from the other side. It's back, apparently there's a subdivision way out back, and the kids were taking ATVs and coming in here, and there was having parties, and I think there were people living in there at one point. And I think it's sort of blocked off near our property line, so they can't. they have to make a concerted effort to get around it in order to come in. But there's nothing of any significance anywhere on our property, I can assure you. And certainly nothing that's happened in the last, well, we've had the business for 14 years now, so.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, Chair will accept a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to amend the special permit as requested. And I would just note that, as long as they meet all the terms and conditions of the other boards.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Any further comments? Discussion?
Will that include your request of information from the planning board versus, relative to the commercial and outlying district clarification? To make sure that that's taken care of before?
Maybe we can just note it in the meeting, in the meeting notes,
Yes.
so that they'll have the benefit of that. Don, anything further?
I'm not voting.
You're not voting, but you have a comment if you'd like to make.
Surprisingly enough, I have no comment. If you want me to throw out some...
No, that's okay.
I'll throw a little 21E out here and see what you chew on that one.
Al? Okay, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay, none. So I have to read you a little something.
I think if he has an issue,
So the special permit is granted with the contingency that the petitioner will comply with all licenses, regulations, statutes, and ordinances of any and all applicable local, state, and federal boards or agencies with jurisdiction over the premises. The granting of the special permit will inure to the benefit of the applicant and shall cease in the event the business is sold or sublet to another party. Special permit is subject to a periodic review by the permit granting authority or the enforcement officer to ensure compliance with the enumerated conditions. Non-compliance to these conditions may result in a revocation of this permit. Copy of the board's decision be filed with the town clerk within 14 days, and any party aggrieved by the board's decision may appeal to Superior Court within 20 days after the decision is filed with the town clerk. No special permit shall take effect until a copy of the decision bearing certification of the town clerk that 20 days have elapsed after the decision has been filed, dismissed, or denied is recorded in the Registry of Deeds. And the special permit shall lapse within 2 years unless substantial use or construction has commenced. So,
Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yep, good luck.
I'm not saying that this guy didn't see oil and
whatever you want, whatever you want.
if these other people saying that, the Lord, this one and that one's been all over their land.
wow, just about me.
Obviously, he was upset about something. I won't mind. Why is he waiting for this? Why didn't he call the conservation a long time ago? Say something. Take some pictures and go down there.
This morning, because I wasn't part of it last time.
How does he even know whose land it's on?
No, I got a vote.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Go on, stay.
So.
I'll hang out.
Okay. We shall reopen the hearing on, what, 270, did I get that number right? 270?
Electric Avenue.
Electric Ave.
Good
And the
evening.
purpose for the continuation of this was to open it for public comment. Seeing nobody here, wait, I guess we can skip that part. You had your opportunity the last meeting, Jen. Are there any additional
No, nothing has
comments?
changed.
No.
Here if you have any other questions. I know we have a member that wasn't here 2 weeks ago when I did the presentation, so.
Yes, thank you. I'm not voting, so it's up to these
ignore
folks.
him.
Thank you. I did review it.
You might put for the edification of the public that the decision has been, or excuse me, that the presentation is already done and it's available in CD form. No, it's documented
That's-
already, rather
yes.
than repeat everything.
Right, yeah, you make a good point, Don, thank you. The meeting that we had 2 weeks ago was recorded and is available for public review. The whole reason for our continuing the meeting was that there was a glitch in notification of the abutters, and so therefore we needed to continue the hearing for the vote. And the opportunity for any additional public comment, but hearing none, we're ready for the vote.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request of 270 Electric Ave, Richard Birch, for the special permit.
I'll second it.
Second it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay, none? So,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Pretty easy.
You gotta do your reading.
Now I got
Better,
a lot of work left to do, so.
Our work is done, yours is begun.
you heard all of the post-decision instructions that I read for the last fellow you were here. Those all apply, as you're very well aware, I'm sure. So good luck with your presentation with the site plan review, and good luck. You're welcome.
Yep, good luck.
There's the send us paperwork now.
If there isn't anything else, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned.
That was easy.
Well, I wanted to ask if he had any oil barrels in the back of his yard, that's all right. Yeah, I think we did. It was